Hey everyone, and welcome to this tutorial in which I'm going to show you how to build Mario using JavaScript, but more specifically a JavaScript library designed especially to make JavaScript game development a whole lot easier. I'm talking about Kaboom.js. Now, if you watch Free Code Camp, you would have seen I've actually made a course on Kaboom.js. In it, I also make a game of Mario. However, it is made in the Replit environment. If you haven't seen the Replit environment, it is an environment that actually has been pre-configured for Kaboom, and it has some really cool features, like you can make the sprites directly in the IDE, so you can literally draw them, and some other cool stuff too. However, for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to use Kaboom.js completely from scratch in your code editor of choice. So for this video, I'm going to be using VS Code, even though that might be changing soon. So yeah, let's do it. I hope you're ready. By the end of the tutorial, you will have a game that looks like this. We are only going to be building 2 levels because I do think that once you have 2, you really do have the knowledge to go on and go forth and make as many as you wish. So what are we waiting for? As always, please do give me that like and that sub, as this really is the way that I can carry on to create more content for everyone here. So let's do it. Okay, now it's time to build some Mario. Once again, in this game, we're going to have 2 levels, so let's get to it. Once you have the knowledge to build these 2 levels, you are more than free to carry on and keep creating more and more levels for your Mario game, or any game that you wish. So let's get started. I have started by just making an index.html and game.js file. So the index.html file just has some standard boilerplate. Please feel free to take this. We have the title, and that's really going to show up in the tab of our browser. We are going to head over to Kaboom and just grab this script right here. So this one like so, and just paste it at the bottom of our file. We next need to link the JavaScript file, so the games.js file. Now we could, in theory, so similarly to here, just have 2 script tags. So one script tag like so, and then put all of our Kaboom.js code in here, or we could just link directly to the game.js file to keep our JavaScript separate. So it's up to you. I'm going to choose to keep it separate. So I'm just going to link it by getting the file name like so. As it's in the root of my project, I just have to grab the file name. Great. Let's carry on. Before we move on, I can actually apply some styling in here. So this is the equivalent. For those of you who know about CSS, this is the equivalent of me just doing a style sheet in here. And I just want the body itself to have a margin of 0 to get rid of the white border. And I'm also going to prevent it from scrolling by putting overflow hidden. Okay, so there we go. That's just a tiny bit of styling. I'm not going to start my own style sheet for it because it is just that. But of course, if you'd rather do that, that is totally up to you. Oops, we need to put that in the header. So good thing that I noticed that. Let's put that in the header. Okay, I'm just going to format this a little bit nicer before we move on. Cool. So now let's head over to our game.js file. And this is where the magic's going to happen. Okay, we're going to initialize Kaboom just like so. We're going to get our curly braces. I'm going to put global as true. And then I'm going to put full screen as true as well, like so. And give it a scale of 1 and put debug as true. So we can see when something goes wrong and try and debug it. Great. The next thing we want to do is add our game scenes. So I'm going to use scene like so. Let's call it game. And I'm going to pass through a level and a score, but for now I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then let's start our game. So let's go control, copy path, and just post it in our browser, just like so. Now, let's just make the background black. So this will give me blue actually. So if I refresh this, that will be blue. And if I want it to be black, that will give me a black background, like so. Okay, so now let's carry on. The next thing I want to do is start off with some layers, and these layers, so let's get an array. I'm going to have a background. Let's also have the object layer as a default, and then the UI layer. And because it's a default, I just need to put object here, like so. Now let's get to drawing out our maps. So for that, we're going to have to, you guessed it, load in some sprites. So just up here is where I'm going to be doing that. Load sprite, and let's get to it. So let's move over to our imager page. This is where I'm going to store all my images. You are more than welcome to take them. Of course, if you want to, please feel free to also make your own. That is half the fun. So let's go ahead and find a coin. So here are my Mario Brothers ones. That is the coin. I made these ones a bit smaller just because the game is a bit bigger. So these are going to be 20 by 20 pixels each. But I'm going to show you how you can scale it up if you wish. So let's do load sprite. Let's do coin. And let's just get, I'm going to make this the root. So delete that and just use this like so, and we can load the root. So essentially that is the whole path. I'm loading the root, and then we have this little extra bit to get to our coin. So we've got our coin. What else do we need? Well, we need an evil shroom for sure. So let's get an evil shroom. There we go. Let's get shareable link. Let's copy that, and I'm just gonna paste it here like so. There we go. So we've got our evil shroom. Let's load sprite. This time let's get a brick. Let's find a brick. So here we go. Get shareable links. I'm gonna copy that. I'm just simply going to paste it like so. Got our brick. Now let's get a block. So once again, let's find our blocks. This is a block. Get shareable link. Copy that and just paste it in here. Let's get Mario. So once again, let's find our little Mario. Get shareable link, copy, just paste it in here. There we go. We've got a Mario. Now let's get a mushroom. Copy the link, paste in the link for a mushroom. Now let's get a surprise block. Surprise. Let's also have an unboxed, so I'm just going to do a few of these now. Like an unboxed block. And then I'm just going to have pipe top left, pipe top right, pipe bottom left, and pipe bottom right. Okay, great. So let's go and get those now. We need the surprise. It's this one. Get a shareable link, copy. Just paste that in here. Now let's get the unboxed. So once again, I'm going to get shareable link, copy, paste that in here. Let's get the pipe top left, get shareable link, copy, paste that here. Let's get the pipe top right, so that is this one, get shareable link, copy. Let's get the pipe bottom left, which is this one, get shareable link, copy. Oops. Do that again, copy, paste, and get the pipe bottom right, get shareable link, copy. And fantastic. We are now ready to start making our board. So I'm just going to make this smaller as we don't really need it for now. Okay, so now let's actually create our game board. I'm going to call it a map like so. And I am just simply going to create a map. So let's make it one. Let's make it a few of these, and then let's maybe start with the bottom one first. So I'm just going to go like this, and then let's have the floor, a few of these, and then let's have like a way that he can fall down. And I'm just going to space these out. So essentially these equal signs are going to equal the bottom of my game. And these are going to be the constraints of my game. And then let's just put some commas here. This will all make sense in a bit. Of course, if you've watched the Zelda tutorial, then you'll already know what is happening here. Now, I need to actually assign this equal sign a sprite. So let's do that here. Once again, just like we did in Zelda, I'm going to say level config. And let's open up some curly braces like so. And then let's say that every sprite on my board is going to have a width of 20 pixels and a height of 20 pixels. Now let's define each object as a list of components. So we already know we've got an equal sign on there, and I want my equal sign to essentially be the sprite of block. So you'll recognize the block from above. Here we go, the block that we imported for us to use in our JavaScript file. And then let's make it solid. So we need to write solid like so. And let's add it to the game level. So const game level equals add level, that is a Kaboom method. And then let's just pass through the first level. So let's pass through the map and then the level config. Great. So now if we go back here and refresh, ta-da, there we go. There is our Mario game started. Even though this isn't the one I wanted, let's change block to this one right here. So get a shareable link, copy that, and I'm just going to remove block and change it because that is the unboxed one that I got wrong. I want this to be a block that looks like this instead, please. So now let's go back to here and there we go. That is looking great. We can of course zoom in if we think this is too small, or I can use scale 2 in order to make everything bigger. Okay, so it's totally up to you how you would like to do that. I'll keep it like this for now, but I might make it a little bit smaller as we carry on coding. So we've got the bottom blocks. What else do we want to add? Well, let's make the dollar sign. Let's make this a coin. I think that should be fun. So let's make the coin 2, 3 around here. We'll put a little coin here. And then let's perhaps also have some more blocks up here. So I want a block up here, and then I also want a mushroom here. So I think that's what I wanted, a mushroom. And then another block, and then let's make another coin here, and then another block. And then I'm also going to have some evil shrooms. So on the bottom level, I'm going to have a shroom here and a little shroom just right here. Great. Now, while I'm at it, I'm also going to have my pipe here. So that is going to be the bottom of the pipe, and I'm also going to have the top of the pipe like so. Okay, so now let's actually tidy this up so it looks more like a grid. And now let's start assigning values to all of these. So sprite, we said this one, we want this to be a coin. So that looks good. I don't want to make the coin solid. Let's also, we wanted this to be a surprise block. So sprite surprise, and this surprise is going to have a coin. So let's make this solid like so, and then let's call this coin surprise. Cool. So we've got a coin surprise. Let's have another surprise, and this time this is going to be a mushroom surprise. So like so, and then just call this, give it the tag of mushroom surprise. Okay. Next, let's have an unboxed. So I'm just going to add the unboxed for now, even though we won't use it yet. So sprite unboxed like so, and then also let's make it solid. What else do we need? I guess the pipes. So let's make this pipe left, make it solid, and then pipe right, solid again, and then let's have pipe top left. Because that's what I've called it, pipe top left, and then bottom left, pipe bottom right, and then we also need pipe top right. So let's do that here, pipe top right. And let's see how that looks. So now refresh, and there we go. Now these are looking a bit big, so I can also scale that in here. I could do scale 0.5 to make sure that they are the same size as everything else in our game. So that is just another trick if something is too big for your game. Okay, you can do any scaling of images right in here. So there we go. Cool. I think the last thing we need to do is add some evil mushrooms before we start adding Pac-Man. So let's go ahead and do that. The evil mushrooms, well, I said they were this on our game board, this little hat. So let's put evil, what do we call it? Evil shroom. Let's make it solid, and we don't want to scale it as we are happy with it as it is. And then I'm actually also going to add a mushroom for now, even though you won't see it on here. Let's make the mushroom for the future a hash tag like so, and just say mushroom. Okay. Cute. Okay, so I think the next thing for us to do now is to go about adding Mario. So const player, and I'm going to use the Kaboom method of add. I'm going to open up our array. I'm going to use sprite to add Mario to our game board. So I've assigned this all to the const player so we can use it in our JavaScript later on. So there we go. And now I want to actually give it a position on our board. So like a starting position. So I'm just going to do pos and then pass through 30 and 0 like so. Now I actually could make Mario fall gravity just by passing through body like this. Okay. And I'm going to do origin bot as well, just to get rid of any funny things when we use body. So just make sure to do that. So woo, there he goes. He is falling onto the blocks because the blocks are solid, so he stops. So woo, woo, there we go. Now let's actually make our Pac-Man move by attaching him to keyboard events. So I'm going to go back here, and actually perhaps let's add the score first. So let's do that. So I am going to add the score like this. I'm simply going to use add to add some text. So let's just use whatever the score is as the text. And then let's position it on our grid. So I'm going to position it in the left-hand corner. And then I'm going to add it to the UI layer. Okay, because we have stuff, this is everything at the moment is on the object layer as the default. This is the first time I'm actually using the layers, and I want to add this to the UI layer. Okay, so it's not going to interfere with anything that's happening in our game, essentially. And the next thing I want to do is just add a value of score. Cool. I'm actually going to save this as something. So let's save this as score label so we can pass it on to the next levels as well. Like so. Cool. And I'm also going to add some text. So let's do add text. Just so we can see what level we are actually on. It doesn't really matter for now because we don't have any levels, we just have the one. So I'm just going to put test like so and give it a position of, again, just put it close to the score is not defined. Oops, I knew that. So for now, I'm just going to put test again. Okay, so there we go. That's all I have done for now. Great. Now the next thing I said I want to do is actually attach event listeners to our player, so let's do it. Okay, so for this I'm going to use key down, so that is a Kaboom method, key down, and then if I press the left, so the keyboard with the left arrow on my keyboard, well, I want this to happen, so let's write a function. So we pass through, the first parameter is left for the left arrow on our keyboard, and the second parameter is a function, and that is what we want to happen essentially if we press left. I'm going to grab the player, I'm going to use move to move our player at a speed. So let's just say, so we want the speed to be 120. That is the x-axis, that is the y-axis. I can even say this as const move speed, just to make our lives easier. So I'm going to put move speed, and of course, because we're going left, I'm going to put a minus. So if I do the same for key down right and get rid of the minus, we should be able to move right and left. And while we're here, I'm just going to do jumping as well. So let's do key press this time, and then space. So whenever I press the space bar, and what do I want to happen? Well, let's write a function. So if this time, because we do use the body component, I can use if player is grounded, like so, and only if the player is grounded, well then we can make the player jump. And let's have a jump force. So const jump force. I'm just going to make this 10 for now. And I'm actually going to move this up to the top of our file because it makes sense to. So I'm going to put it up here and click save. Now let's see. So I can go left, I can go right, and if I press spacebar, oh, well, nothing happens. I actually think our jump force is too small, so let's just do 360. There we go. Boo, 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 boo. So just enough to jump, but not enough to jump onto the next one without getting big. Let's solve how to do that next. Okay, so I'm actually just going to do it up here. Right, function big. There's a timer here as well. And currently let is big is going to be false. I'm going to return update if is big. Well, I want timer, and this is delta time. This is a Kaboom method. Once again, if I show you what that is, it is the delta time since the last frame. And if timer is smaller than or equal to 0, so if our times run out, we want to make Mario small again. So if we pass through this as a component onto Mario, this should apply all of this to Mario, or in fact any sprite that we wish. So it's big, return is big, and then smallify this scale equals vec 1, and timer equals 0, and then put is big back to false. Okay, so we've got smallify, now we need bigify, And well, you guessed it, it's basically all of this, but we need to make him bigger. So let's make it by 2. Timer equals new time, and is big is true. And whatever we pass through into Bigify is going to be the time. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm just going to, like I said, put the component on Mario like so. So I'm literally just grabbing what we wrote and putting it on Mario. Okay, cool. Now, what do we want next? I think let's actually get some mushrooms sprouting. So let's go ahead and do that now. So right under here, I want to grow a mushroom. So we're going to grab the player, and if the player head bumps, I'm going to pass through an object. If the object that he head bumps, so if object is coin surprise, so anything with the tag of coin surprise, well, then I'm going to grab the game level and I'm going to spawn. I want to spawn a coin because it's a coin surprise. He's bumping something with a surprise, but it's got the tag coin surprise, so I want a coin to show up. So let's spawn a coin. Spawn a coin. And then let's put the coin next. So we're going to grab the object that we just bumped heads with, and then we're going to put the coin above it. So this is how you would do that. And then I'm going to destroy the actual object that we head bumped with, like so. Okay? So that is it. Let's try that. So this has got the tag coin surprise. I think so anyway. Ah, there we go. That one did. Cool. So great. We destroyed the object and we got a coin spawning. Now I actually want to add the unboxed sprite. So once again, I'm going to grab the game level and use spawn, but this time to spawn something else, I want to spawn the unboxed. And make it grid position just 0. So I guess to replace the block that we got rid of. So, da! It's cool, right? Da! Fun! Da! 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 Like that one. Okay. And then we also need one for the mushroom. So I'm just going to copy this. If object is mushroom surprise, well, you've guessed it. Let's spawn a mushroom. So spawn a mushroom, destroy the object, and also change it to unboxed. So now, cool. Now let's make the mushroom move. So let's do that now. I am going to use action for this. So I'm going to grab anything with a tag of mushroom. Just make sure that it has a tag of mushroom first. And I'm also going to give it, actually let's do that later, I'll show you why. So I'm going to grab anything with the tag of mushroom and pass through M for mushroom. And I want to grab the mushroom, I'm going to move that mushroom. And I want to move that mushroom on the y-axis 10. Okay, so it's going to go to the right 10. So now, there we go. So it's moving, our mushroom is moving, it's moving, and you'd expect it to drop, but it just carries on going. Because we need to add gravity. So I can do that by just adding body here, okay? So I've added the body component. So now, boom, It's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. And boo! Cool. So now I want Mario to grow if he eats the mushroom. So I'm just going to do that below here, I reckon. Let's grab the player, and if the player collides, I'm going to use the Kaboom method of collides with a mushroom. Let's pass M for mushroom again. I'm going to destroy the mushroom, so destroy M for mushroom. And I need to bigify the player, so I'm going to grab player, and then we wrote bigify, remember? And we also pass through a time, so whatever I pass through into here, that's how long it's going to be big for. So let's say 6 seconds. Okay. So let's do that. I also, while I'm here, I'm just going to grab the player, and when player collides with a coin, so anything with the tag of coin, just make sure, yeah, let's give this a coin tag. When player collides with a coin, so let's pass through C for coin. Well, I want to destroy the coin. Yeah, that's right, destroy the coin. But then we also want to grab the score label, and just increase the value by 1. So use the increment operator. And then also display it for us, right? So score label text equals score label value. Okay, let's check it out. Ding, 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 da, 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 do, 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 do. So there we go. Oh yes, not a number, fine. That's because we need to fix what we wrote before, and let's just check that he gets bigger. Oh, okay. So Mario does get bigger. I also want him to jump high if he gets bigger so we can get on the next level. So let's do that. Okay, so we've got a jump force. I also want something that is, this needs to be a let, as we're going to change it, a current jump force. And for now, that is just going to be the jump force, okay? But we're going to change that. And I want a big jump force, so const big jump force. And let's make the big jump force 550. I'm just going to move that just neater. Great. And do let, no, this is fine for now. Okay, so when he gets bigger, let's get the current jump force is big. If is big, then I want the current jump force to be big jump force. Actually, we should do this here. So if smallify, and then, so smallify, we just want the jump force, but bigify, we want the big jump force. So let's try that again. Let's make the mushroom move faster, because I think it's moving a bit slowly for me, for my liking for now, especially when we're building the game. We can just move it back to whatever we want later. Okay, so now, okay, no, he's not very jumping. Okay, so that's not right. What did I do here? Let's have a look at this again. Okay, I am actually going to move this back up here. Let's see if that works. So once again, let's get the mushroom. Why is it not changing? That's because we need it to jump at the current jump force. Okay, because we're changing the current jump force. That is our changing variable. We just had the standard jump force before. So let's see it now. Woo! Okay, and that is much better. Whee! And there we go. Great. Let's carry on. Okay, let's make our little guys move. So here, if player collides with anything with the tag dangerous, well, whatever is dangerous, let's pass that into our function. And let's do, we'll go to a lose scene, shall we? So go to a lose scene, and let's just pass through the score so we can see what the final score is, like so. So now we need to actually write a lose scene. So let's make it outside of this scene. Scene, lose. I'm going to pass through the destructured score like so. And add text. Sorry, add text. So we open up the array, we add the text, score. Then we get origin. We can make it center. Center. So I'm just going to use center. And then I'm going to put position. Get the width. Divide by 2. And then also the height. So height and divide by 2. Okay, so if we collide with one of them, we lose. Let's actually make them move as well. So we need to actually assign a dangerous tag to the evil mushroom. So let's do that now. So if we collide with them, we go to the lose scene. Great. Let's actually make them move, however. So action, and I grab anything with a dangerous tag. And I'm just going to move it, so D move. And do we have an enemy speed? Let's just move them 20. We want to go left though, so minus 20. Let's put const enemy speed 20. Minus 20. Okay. Cool. So now if we collide, there we go. We go to the losing scene. It's saying tests because we need to change this to be the score. This is going to be the score. And let's just leave the level for now because our score is not defined because we did not pass it through into the game. Score 0. We're going to start off with the score of being 0, and then we also need to pass it into the game itself. So score. There we go. So now let's get 1 point, and then let's show that 1 point where we die. Brilliant. We are doing well. We also want to kill them if we jump on them. So let's do that now. I'm going to put const is jumping is true. Now if player is grounded, then we want is jumping to be true as we apply the jump. And then let's also, I'm going to do it here, get the player, and then I'm just going to check that if the player, so if player is grounded, again, at any time if the player is grounded, then we want is jumping to be false. Okay. Now let's go to dealing with the collisions. So if it collides, but actually if the player is jumping, then we destroy the dangerous thing. But if it's not jumping, then we lose. So that makes sense, else. There we go. Cool. And I think another thing we can do, let's have fall death, because obviously if he falls down in here, then assignment to constant variable. That shouldn't be const. My fault, this is Violette. Okay, so now let's actually tackle the death, death fall. So let's just put something, let's call it fall death actually. We can call it whatever we want. And the fall death is going to be 400. Okay, great. Now, if the player falls down in here, we want it to be a game over. So I'm just going to do that. Where should we do it? Let's do it here. We can do it where we want, but I'm going to choose to put it here. So action runs every frame second, by the way. So that is why it's a handy one to use. We're essentially checking something every frame second. Let's have the camera position to be the player position at all times. So that is something cool we can do. Now, if player position Y is greater than or equal to fall death, well then we go to the lose scene. So go to the lose scene and then take the score with you. Score label value. So let's try it out, shall we? Refresh. So now you can see the camera's actually following the user, which is quite cool as well. And dead. Okay, so we did the camera movement thanks to camera position, player position. Just so you know, I think that is quite cool. Now the next thing we want to do is go to the next level. So let's do that. So right in here, I'm going to do if the player collides with anything with the pipe tag, well then what do I want to happen? Let's write our function and find out. If it collides with that and the key press, and I press key press down, so you can do key down, you can do key press, that part is totally up to you, whichever one you prefer. The key down is literally pressing down, and a key press is just a key press on your keyboard. So if I key press down, well then I want to go to the next level. Go game. And then I need to pass through the score with me. So I'm simply going to do a label like that, value, of course. And I also want to pass through the next level. So let's put level. And I'm just going to get whatever the level is plus 1. Okay, so that is how I would do that. So that means, again, that I need to start off with the level of the game being 0. And then I need to pass that through into the current game. So I'm going to go level and score. So now we have passed through 0 to the first level of the game. Our first level is 0. So now if I want to show that here, well, I could just put level, but then it'll say level 0, and that doesn't make sense. So I'd rather it say level 1. Just for the viewer. I'm just going to put this in a pass int to make sure that is the number 2. So let's try that. Let's refresh. Oh, why is it not showing? Add text level. Oops, there we go. Okay. There we go. Level 1. It's sort of overlapping, so maybe let's do some moving around. Let's see if that's better. Okay, so we've got 0 points and we're level 1. We're actually on level 0, but because we passed through a 1 to the viewer, it says level 1. And then if we go to the next level, well, obviously there is no next level at the moment. Oh, destroy is not defined. I've obviously misspelled destroy somewhere. Okay. So now let's go. Destroy. Destroy. If I go here and I press down, well, there's currently no level to go to, but we also need to put tags on the pipe top left. So I'm going to put the pipe tag. I'm also going to do pipe tag on here, so it only affects the top 2 pipes. And let's try it again. Go down. And at the moment, it's just taking me to the same level. But that is because we need to write a new level. So let's do that now. Okay. So, at the moment we have 1 map. Let's have maps and make this an array of maps. So we're going to have 2 levels for now. Please, of course, feel free to add all your own levels. Add as many as you wish. For now, we're just going to have the 2. So there's our first map, which means when I'm adding levels, I'm going to get the maps array and then pass through whatever level it is. So as we know, the first level is 0, which means I'm going to go into the array and get the first item from my array, because if we pass through a 0 into array, that's what happens. Okay, so that's a bit of array work for you from JavaScript. So here is my first map. Let's create our second. So at the moment they look the same, but I'm just going to load in some more sprites. So just like we did here, I'm going to load in some blue sprites this time to make the next level. So I'm going to call this blue block. I'm going to have blue brick. I'm going to have blue steel. And I'm going to have blue evil shroom. And I'm also going to have a blue surprise. And once again, I'm going to go to my imager and find them. So here is my blue block. This is going to be interesting because they are different sizes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. That is my blue block. Delete that. Or is that my blue brick? Maybe that's a brick. This looks like a blue steel from, if you know Zoolander. It's not the same blue steel, sadly. So that is my blue steel. Here is my blue evil shroom. This must be, which one would this be? Blue brick. Yeah, that makes sense. That's my blue brick. And then we just need the blue surprise. So I'm going to get shareable link, copy that, and then just paste it here. And we are lucky because most of the logic has already been done for us. So that is really handy. So let's just go ahead and add all those in here too. So I'm going to copy that. And now we have the blue block. Let's make this an exclamation. Don't need a tag on mushroom. So we're just going to have the blue block like so. I'm going to scale it so it's the same size as the others. So I'm just going to put scale 0.5. So that is our blue block. We also have a blue brick. And let's make that a pound sign. We also have an evil shroom. Let's make that a Z. Blue evil shroom. And again, let's give it the tag of dangerous. So that's the cool part about these tags. We are reusing a lot of the logic we have already written. So that is good. And then let's also make a blue surprise. And this is going to be a coin surprise. And then, of course, we have blue steel. That is not dangerous, so we don't need that. And then let's give it an X. So now let's use all of this to style out our game. So this time I'm just going to put bricks on the side of the walls, so just like so. And on the other side too. And then this is all going to be exclamations. So all the way to the end this time. And this time I'm just going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's have some evil mushrooms. Let's put Z and Z. And then let's also have a pipe, but let's put it at the end here. Like so. And then let's have some steel climbing things like so. 1, 2, oops. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just 1, 2. So it's just hours of fun making these little games. You can make the grids as big or as tall, as small as you want. So there we go. Now let's check it out. So we're passing the levels. Okay, so let's go down, and there we go. We are now on level 2 with 0 coins. So that has worked. Now let's try kill these. Boo, boo. Oh, we got killed. So everything's working fine. Once again, let's go to the next level. And here we are. So this is all looking great. I mean, I'm really proud. Awesome. And of course, we don't have another level. Once again, just like we did with Zelda, I can loop. So where are the levels? Right here. So that the level, if I do modulus maps length, it will keep looping over and over and over again. So there we have it. Of course, there is so much more you can do with this game. I've just provided you with the basics so you can get going and create more and more Mario games. Just like we did with Link, you can change the sprite of Mario. So perhaps if he's jumping, you can have him go like that. If you want to learn how to do that, please look at the Zelda game. All you have to do is change the sprite. Also, you can have him when he's moving, changing a sprite, and so on and so on. So there really is a lot to do in this awesome game. Okay, well, I hope I provided you with the knowledge to go forth and create your own, not only Mario and Zelda and Space Invaders, but so many others. And please do share them with us. I, for one, would absolutely love to see your finished games, how you have styled them, how you've made them your own. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that.